TacoTuesday.com. Spilling the sauce. Tacos and more. Back with the stars. Toni and Corey. Spilling the sauce.
So, everybody, welcome back to another edition of the TacoTuesday.com podcast. We are very excited to have a very special guest down from LA, Barbara Sky Burrell. Barbara, thank you so much for joining us.
Oh, what a pleasure. I can't even tell you. This place is just awesome. And again, thank you.
Thanks for bringing these gorgeous boxes and these sauces.
Thank you. That's
I was going to say, we have a plethora of things to look forward to today. All of it fantastic.
So excited.
It feels a bit like a Christmas present.
Oh, I love that. That's a good feeling. It's Christmas in what?
It's Christmas in the TacoTuesday.com studio.
It's a beautiful place. Thank you.
Is purple your favorite color?
No.
Oh.
No,
So
I like pink today.
Oh.
I like pink today, but we're close. The fuchsia,
Yeah.
but fuchsia is one of our colors.
Mm-hmm.
Fuchsia and with our skies logo. It's been the color.
So when did you create your logo? Because that logo is amazing.
1992, February 23rd,
Oh.
That's a good year.
1992.
I was created that year as well.
It's
You don't dress up as pretty as these do, though.
No, I do not.
yeah, that was a day.
Okay, so I guess real quick, we've all got a glass of tequila here. I figured
we
an
do.
appropriate start would be to do a cheers.
Cheers.
Ching ching.
Ching, ching.
Nice.
So, you're nothing short of a very impressive human. Everything that I've read about you and everything that I've learned, I mean, everybody in LA knows you as a legend. Your food is just some of the best food that's ever, been eaten. I guess that was a weird way to put it, but it's fantastic food. You've been interviewed by several major magazines. You've been on Food Network. You've been all over the place. So I guess a good natural first question, how did you get started doing all of this?
Oh, it all started with a taco.
I love that.
Started with a taco. I was like 12 years old. I lived in Illinois, a small town outside of Chicago, and it was near the base. And so my mother and I were driving one day. She was driving, and I was, again, 12. And I saw this neon sign. It was a taco. And I was always very curious about different foods. And I says, Mom, what's that? She says, it's a taco. Well, because of the cultural indifference there, they didn't have tacos, mainstream tacos. Okay. So she bought me a taco. It was gross. It was the worst thing in the world.
Do you remember what the taco was?
I can't. What kind of meat? I don't know. I mean, they couldn't even describe it. But there was something that I wanted to do with this taco. So for years, I actually worked with the taco and developed this taco in the sense of, I said, there has to be a filling that goes in that's delicious, and you have to be able to make this shell different. It has to be, it can be a good product, I didn't call it product. I said, this can be good, period. And I started doing tacos. But then I veered off. You know how you veer off?
Yeah.
And went corporate. And always thought about tacos, though. Divorces, marriages. Sounds like a lot, doesn't it? Anyway, always did tacos. And in doing the tacos, I remember I always wanted it something special, because I never thought the taco was given respect. Mm-hmm. There was never any respect for the taco. The taco was like, you get over here for your 50 cents. Well, okay, that's okay, but it was the way it was handled. It was handled. So after so many years, I decided, okay, I'm going to do tacos. Woke up one morning, January 23rd, 1992, and said, I'm going to do tacos. And opened up March 5th, 1992 at 1:44 p.m., and I was doing tacos. Now, I hadn't fully developed that taco, okay, my son and I, in terms of the recipe, but I knew I have a minute. Because when you don't have a lot of money, a lot of people aren't coming in. So you got a minute to develop. And that's what I took, that minute. And I decided I wanted a taco that was defined, that had the taste. It was going to be like You know how you go to the gym and you work out and you think about one muscle you want one, we want your gluteus max to be fine. You think, oh God, we got to work this out. So while you're working that gluteus max muscle out, you're thinking about how it's going to look. Well, that's what you do with a taco. If you say, what do I want it to taste like? In order for it to taste like anything, you have to put something in it. In addition to the ingredients, in addition to, the spices, you got to put some heart into it. And then you've got to teach your people heart. And how do you do that? I don't know. You just stand there with them and all of a sudden they pick it up and it's like, this is, you throw enough of them away. They say, we're going for it. So that was my beginning. And that's how I started.
I did read that it has a splash of soul. What do you say to that?
Well, in opening up Skies, first of all, as a black woman, I'm opening up Skies, and she's doing tacos. That's kind of different.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and and she wants to do gourmet tacos too. Ooh, okay, that's different. So I knew that I had to put a definition in there to let everybody know who I was, and to let them know that this is a taco that's different. It's not your usual taco that's out in the street taco, which street tacos are good.
Yeah.
But we're going to refine this taco. Okay? So in refining this taco, I said, we're going to have it Mexican with a splash of soul. I'm the soul.
Oh.
Okay.
I love that.
I bet people love to come in just to see you. Are you there all the time?
Oh, yeah, I am. I change up in locations, but yes, every day I'm on the premises.
And you have those regular customers that are...
And let me tell you, those regular customers, from my heart, are so meaningful to me. These customers have been coming in for 30 years. And let's say if I haven't seen them like in maybe 10 years or something, and I'm back I like to hang at, location for at least 7-10 days. Mm-hmm. That way, you can get a feel again and everybody can get a feel about you're there. And my people have been coming in. I'm like, my heart goes home. I go home with my heart so full. And that's joy, really true joy, that we're touching each other's lives and positive things are happening. And sometimes my customers, when they come in, I'll say to them, you know what? Lunch is on me. Bring your family and dinner's on me, because those are my stars. Those are my stars. Not which I love Denzel Washington and all those people, but they're not going to be hanging up on my wall.
Yeah.
My stars are going to be the people that have been coming in every year.
That's beautiful.
Bringing
I
their
love
children in, their families. And that's my reward, because I ain't rich yet.
Not yet, but tomorrow's a new day.
But your soul is rich.
Oh, extremely, extremely. And I'm fortunate to have a wonderful team of people that are tough, that are dedicated, that can put up with me, and that I love, and we're family. And it's been this way now for years. And I'm just, I'm just all enriched. Sometimes I go and I pinch myself, and then I have this other thing going on. When you own a business and you put in so many years, this is what you know. This is what I know. I know that taco has to be good every day. And when I hear something about that taco slipping, I'm on, grilled up, got my tools on. We're going to get down, because this isn't just about a livelihood. This is about what feeds your soul. What feeds your heart? It's not just about livelihood. It's like, we're going to win some money. We're going to lose some money. We're going to make some money. But what about the people? And now I think, especially with our time, the time that we're living, it's volatile. For God's sake, spread what you have. If you do tacos, and I know there are a lot of taco aficionados out there, and I'm a major player. But know this, that it's more than just getting that taco out. It's more than just delivery. It's what's in that delivery, and that's what's important.
What were the early days like for you? I mean, restaurants nowadays with social media, the internet, everything's moving so quickly. You can translate what your brand is. What were the early days like finding new customers and explaining that it's this with soul and explaining that to kind of the communities that you were with?
It was, I look back and it was tough, but I didn't think it was tough back then. I thought this is the drill. So this is what you have to do. So what I would do is I would make up samples and I'd go in different commercial areas and I'd go and I'd say, hi. My name is, and this is what I have. I'd like for you to try it. Now listen, if you don't think you like it, you just don't like it. But give it a try. Give it to your bosses and maybe they'll make a decision because maybe, you're not able to make the decision. I would appreciate it. I would do the James Brown. James Brown is please, 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 please. Give me an opportunity, please. And people did. And then I'd start getting, big orders for, let's say, lunches, for lunch specials and everything. And then I have to go put them together, me and my sons, and then I go deliver them. I'm like, okay. And then I go and then what I do is I put flyers. I'd make up handmade flyers where handwritten. I put them on people's cars and say, I know you want to throw this away or whatever, but don't. Skies. And I mean, I've gone through the whole drill and I think social media. So listen, so when my team came on, social media was, I already had a website, but yeah, I don't understand that stuff.
Yeah.
At the time. So my team I said, okay, I'm going out there with flyers. They said, you're going to do old school. We're going to do what? I'm going out with these flyers today. And he said, we don't have to do that now. He said, this is what we're going to do. And at first, you don't believe in it because you're so used to the interaction and you're so used to the scuffle in another way. You don't believe in this. Okay, so it started working. I'm like, I don't have to get out and hit that ground anymore. So I have a saying. It's like when you think you're through pounding the ground, keep on pounding the ground. But that isn't literal. That's social media. And thank God for social media. Because at first I didn't understand it. I mean, I was like, what? What does that mean? Well, let me talk to him. I got to talk to him. Shut up. Okay. So that was my experience. Thank you for asking.
I mean, 30 years is nothing to balk at in any industry, but in an industry like restaurants where places are gone in 6 months, let alone 6 years. I mean, how does it feel to look back and all of those accomplishments? I mean, a lot of people, did the time fly by, or is it hard to believe that it's been, I guess 31 now, it would have been 30 years last year, correct? So what is it like to look back on that?
Right now, it's almost like it makes me feel like I'm old, but guess what? I'm not, guys. It's amazement. It's amazing. It's amazing that I had the girth, the grit, the perseverance. It's amazing. I never ever thought about closing. And I mean, times got goofy tough. I mean, come on. When you first started out business, I started out with $2,000 and a Wolf stove. There's nothing. But you got a Wolf, though. You got something to go for. And in starting out, I never knew. I knew there was going to be some trying times. Mm-hmm. But you see, you have to, you go bit by bit. You wake up one morning, you're so fearful, you don't even know why. Everything's climbing in on you because you're afraid. And you're not afraid you're going to close. You're afraid you can't stay open, if that makes sense. It's like, I'm not going to close, but I got to balance this act. Okay, the food costs, labor. And after a while, this is what you're never comfortable.
Yeah.
You learn to live in discomfort. And I live in discomfort. I'm okay. And I'm uncomfortable now, but comfortably uncomfortable. Okay. Because we never know we're going to face. For example, when COVID came, we didn't know. We didn't know what a hurdle. We didn't know. That? We were very fortunate. We were on platforms already because I got a progressive team.
Okay.
So when we closed the doors, we were able to carry on, but certainly not in the mode that we were accustomed. because we didn't have the catering, we didn't have the food, we didn't have papas. It was like flat time. And my heart went out to restaurants, okay, because my heart was fearful for mine. But restaurants that did not make it, that have their hard grit and girth in it. That's and to see them close.
Yeah.
You know, it hurts me. And it was a tough time, and the majority of us restaurateurs, we're recovering. We're still trying to recover. And remember, people after they closed out, after there's no more COVID, remember the bill people, they know, they don't care. It's like, you know, it's like it never happened. We have to have a momentum. We have to get a momentum going. How do we get the momentum? Yes, the opening. COVID shut down that momentum and left us just lifeless. So prayerfully, we can all rise up from this, because it has to be good from this ashes.
Yeah.
It has to be something good.
And I was looking at your menu. Your prices are not like other restaurants that are really pricey.
No.
How do you, like with the prices right now, how do you do that still?
You know, what we do is we have very little waste, because everything is made to order.
Oh, smart.
Number one. Yeah. So we cut. I tell them, you have to turn off the lights in this segment, you guys, if you don't mind. There's a segment when you come in to the and you enter the kitchen. I said, there's no lights in here. We can all be in the dark. We all know each other. You know, so there are things that we do that we have to really cut cost, but we cannot. My customer base, they're a bunch of spoiled brats, which I love you guys forever. Okay? I love you, but and not that they won't pay it. It's that I'm just kind of that community person.
You spoiled them.
And I just said, you know, I want you to be able to. I mean, listen, years ago, there was a woman that used to come, and she used to, with her in a taxi on the first, which told me she was on welfare. She bought 12 tacos every Friday. Now that was a big jump for her. That was a big, but she liked them so much. That was her treat for she and her two boys. Okay, so I couldn't go up on those prices. I said, "Ooh, it'd be good." No, because this was her treat. Live and let live. Mine comes.
Yeah.
Mine comes.
So after this many years, and with approaches like that to community and supporting community and everything you've done, you know, different stories that obviously so many different publications have touched on, are they restaurants or are they community centers at this point?
They're restaurants. They're restaurants with a community vibe. And the community vibe is your kids have grown up there. I've gone to their graduation. I've gone to their their funerals. I've been there. And not that I have a tendency, I'm a social worker, because I'm not. I'm more capitalist than anything. But there's a connection. For example, we'll be opening up over at SoFi.
I saw that. I was about to ask
That's
you.
4,000 square feet of space, okay? Now, that makes me, when we're going to have the, events and whatever, and full bar, so it makes me wonder, how am I going to do a community there? So I have to be me.
Yeah.
I have to be me. They're going to get to know me. They're not going to know me, whatever. But I'm going to be me and impart that. And that's encouragement. And that's come and eat my good food. And let me feed you some more good food. And see you tomorrow. That's what I'm going to do.
They're going to fall in love with you.
Love that. I think a lot of the people that would be regulars at your restaurant, or especially the ones that know you personally, I'm sure you are a big reason why people come back. And it's not just tasty, good food that tastes good, and you pay your bill and you leave. When you can feel that the people that are putting your food out there that you're eating, and you can tell that they care, I mean, it says a lot. And I think people get a sense of that.
Some years ago, I had a loss. It was my son was killed on a motorcycle accident in 2001. And he was in college, and he was a big part of the business because he loved to cook. And he and I were just rolling around, getting fat, and because we had all kinds of recipes going, okay? And one thing, after he he left, and I something came into me, and that was, I am here to serve. I'm here to serve. You might not like it, but you all are here to serve. And I think there was another kind of acceptance in terms of humankind and where I wanted to be in my life, and in part in my life up with human. What was important? Because all this stuff, it's like, oh, did you get my Bentley out for me yesterday morning? But if that's what's important, yeah, it's all in place. That's what you want, it's all in place. But there's something that's more important. And to me, that's imparted in food and how it's prepared, what it tastes like, and the experience when you walk in and somebody can say, "Hey, how you doing?" It's like, listen, I had a group of people that didn't speak to anybody. I said, what's wrong with you guys? Nobody speaks. It's like you walk in, I'd say, well, I said, good morning, and I said, well, first of all, let me teach you in my house.
Yeah.
This is what you do in my house.
Love that.
Okay, so there's things that are, there's things that we impart and things that we pick up, but I learned that I was here to serve. I'm okay.
Yeah, you are serving, because somebody's there that doesn't know like how to like say good morning and stuff. You're teaching them.
Uh-huh.
Like they might not be learning at home or something, but you're teaching them.
Yeah, and that's part of the encouraging. It's part mentorship. I mean, there are so many lost. I mean, I thought I was a really wild child. You know what I mean? There's some lost ones out here. It's like you don't even know what to say to them. Okay, and they need examples, and they need examples and samples, and that isn't always someone that can talk to them. It's someone that they can see.
Yeah,
and sometimes it hits. Sometimes it doesn't. But sometimes this stuff hits. And these kids, I mean, I've got grandkids that come in now. Somebody's grandkids. Can you believe that?
Aren't you 21? How do you have this restaurant for so long?
God, 30 years, you almost talking about what's that, 2 generations? 3?
That is 2 generations.
Yeah. I mean, I got little Johnny. He loved my hot beans, and he's graduated college.
Huh.
Johnny graduated college.
Just made me feel old.
Yeah, right. Yeah, but don't.
Thanks, Johnny.
Because I don't. Okay, don't. It's life has this wonderful process of giving you hits and jerks, and all of a sudden you wake up and you say, I'm gonna take it. And you say, oh, not today, maybe tomorrow, but not today. Okay.
I love that.
And this spread of sauces, when did you venture into the sauce world?
1992.
So you've been doing it for a while. You've been doing it.
So when I first opened up, which was March 5th, 1:44 p.m., 1992, what I did was I had cheesecake, pineapple cheesecake, homemade lemonade,
Ooh.
and 5 tacos.
Oh.
Okay? Because, it was barehanded. You know what I'm saying? And it would just flying out the door. And I'm like, well, this is a beautiful thing. So the sauces, when I start with the sauces, we were using a base that was like from a bottle,
Mm-hmm.
and it had preservatives. So guess what? My son gets married. Good move. He marries a woman whose mother is a chemist. Better move.
Nice.
I said, you go, kid. Okay, wonderful, wonderful, wonderful woman. So she got the recipe. She got the whatever and got it all together, and we were able to ship it and do our recipes.
So we could order these online, right?
Yes, you can.
And I saw that there's a grocery store that has these, or you have a grocery store.
Yes.
And I love salsa verde, so I can't wait to try this.
Good. It's good. It's
I
fresh.
had a question about your sassy sauce.
Yes.
I guess, first of all, what flavor is that sassy sauce? And second of all, would you say that sauce represents you?
Yes, it does. That sauce is, it's totally me. It's got a little sweetness to it. It's got another kind of depth, and it goes right on you, where it's a little tang.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's me totally. And when we in developing it, kind of developing, sauce, try to get it right every day. That sauce right every day. I was so glad we went to, whatever and said, let's just do it this way. But sauces, you see, I've never been a sauce person. Béarnaise, whatever, fine. But I knew that sauce had to grip me some kind of way. Because if you put a regular sauce on a taco and the taco ain't saying too much, sometimes the sauce can whip it up and just bring it to where it's supposed to be. But if you put this sauce, you put a sauce that's nothing, even on a good ingredient taco, you're taking away from it. You're hitting it. Okay? I mean, listen, I'm a taco aficionada. Okay? This is what I do. So this sauce, yes, it's very much variation of me. Everything is, because when I started out, I said, okay, let's do it this way. Cheesecake, let's do it this way. Let's do it this way. And so it's remained. And I stock it every day.
The sauces are on skytacos.com, right?
That's correct. Walmart, Amazon.
Oh, okay.
So our sauces are available, and of course inside the stores and what have you. But they're good stuff. There's no preservatives. And I think the only thing we omitted on the label is kosher. I don't know why, but I think it might be on the label.
Oh, yeah. Vegan, gluten-free, and kosher.
Oh, yeah. It's all. See how you miss things?
So you guys could get your sauces at www.skystacos.com. And she said Walmart, Amazon.
Absolutely. And we have our all-purpose seasoning, which is wonderful. It goes on everything. It goes on eggs. It goes on ribs. We do our ribs with that. All meats. Depends on what you're feeling.
I've been looking for a way to spice up my eggs because that's usually what I eat after the gym is I will make eggs. But I always make them plain, and I've always hated eggs. So my wife for years has been telling me, why do you eat the same breakfast every day and you don't even enjoy it? There are ways to make these taste good. You can... I said, well, I just haven't found the right spice, haven't found the right sauce.
You also like to live uncomfortably, apparently.
Yeah, and
sometimes.
And then you probably, and then also don't be afraid of one ingredient, and that's butter.
I love butter.
Don't
God
be
bless.
afraid of butter.
Butter and sugar.
Butter, sugar, flour. Yeah, no, don't be afraid of butter. Put a little butter in your eggs. Have coddled eggs in the morning, a little butter, a little vinegar in them.
A little vinegar.
A little all-purpose seasoning. Superb.
Well, I know the next seasoning that I'm going to try.
Superb.
Now, you mentioned that you were talking about doing tacos differently. You knew you wanted to do it differently, and you said specifically the tortilla had to be different.
Yes.
Now, I hear you have a very special way of making your tortillas.
Yes.
If you could enlighten us on what that is.
Our tortillas are, well, first of all, when I started out, this taco, first of all, when you start any business, you got to think about one thing, that's differentiation. Everybody know that, right? Well, I wasn't thinking that, but that's what I was doing. Because I know that taco and that taco shell had to be special for someone to want to come and get that taco, and I want them to get it every day. Because, see, people get stuck on my tacos where they have to come in 3, 4, 5, 6 times in a row until they get burned out. I'm like, oh, Lord, they can get burned out, okay? And they come in because there's that taste. So with my shells, I said, what's going to make them? Well, first of all, they're homemade. What am I going to do different? I'm going to use butter. I always use butter, though. I'm a butter kind of broad. Butter. Okay. So the butter, you take the seasoning and you put your seasoning in that butter just lightly, and then you put your tortilla in there and you let your tortilla cook on the grill or skillet, whatever. New level. Delicious. Okay. It makes all the other ingredients inside pop. And also, it makes it where you don't forget it. There's something in that, it hooks up with something in that brain, or the part of the brain where it says, I've got to have another one. I just want to get another one. Oh, I have to tell you a story. Can I tell you a story?
Oh, please do.
Okay, so years ago when I started out, I listen, don't laugh. No, I never register. I was probably been in business about a month. My mother says, why don't you get a register? I said, oh, because I had a little bell, where I add it up, because like little kids have it. I love the sound of it. I was serious, but frankly, I could not afford it. I didn't want to tell her. Okay. So I had a cash box. Well, it was just me and the cash box, me or my kids, and they're not thieves that I know of. But anyway, no, they're cool. But anyways, so in this cash box, I remember we had a big lunch rush. Okay, and I'm like, so I remember every time I took a $100 bill, I would mark it. I always marked my $100 bills. So I didn't have my glasses on, and it was a rush, and I give back a $100 bill instead of a 10.
Oh,
so
no.
I know it right away because I knew it right away after the lunch rush. I said, oh no. So anyways, I went back in the back and I prayed. No joke. And at about 5 o'clock, a man comes back in. I don't know how I know. I said, did I give you 100 by accident? He says to me, I don't know. He pulls out a wad of hundreds. And there was my X on that 100, right? I said, that's it. He says, wow. He says, I came back because the chicken tacos were so good. And I said, that's wonderful. The tacos are on me. I was so glad he came back. Then that was such a ray of hope for me. Do you know what I'm saying? Can you imagine you're losing a $100 bill that day? Like, ugh. And he comes in because the chicken tacos were good. Now, there's nothing better than that. Okay?
That's amazing.
That was amazing. And that was one of my stories, one of the stories that I remember so well in one of my starting days. Because my starting days were a little rough, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were a little rough. They weren't, always beautiful. But we kept it moving every day, same time, same station, better food, make it better, good, better, best.
And now you're launching the new item, right?
Yes, this
Smothered
wet burrito.
Wet burrito? Is that what's in our little
Yeah,
box?
that's what that.
Oh, I want to open
Do
it.
an unboxing.
Yeah. So this wet burrito, if I may expound.
Please.
So this wet burrito, see, I never had a wet. First of all, when I had a burrito, it was open face. That's what I did. And then so people come in now and say, I want the old way. Well, we started wrapping them, some years ago. And so I said, well, not too long ago, I said, why don't we wet our burritos? Let's make up a good sauce. So I go in, I said, okay, training day. They're like, oh, God. So I'm in the kitchen for like 4 or 5 days. And all of a sudden, when everybody starts giving you their ideas, you get confused. You don't know what tastes good. So you have to step back. You have to step back and start people tasting a little bit. But ultimately, it becomes my decision what I want in that sauce. And I want that sauce to be smooth. I want it to be a little salmon colored. I want it to be just real smooth, okay? Nothing overwhelming, but I know you're there. So let's see how that turned out. To me, it turned out well. But, I'm a little biased here.
So what's in our box? It's the
A lot,
chicken wet
apparently.
burrito.
Yeah, you keep, it's like
chips
Santa's
and
magic
Chips
bag.
and salsa,
guacamole.
Yes.
And then-
and pico de gallo. And then you have the chicken taco with the cabbage toss. And then you have a, what does it say?
Potato and cheese.
Potato. Those are delicious.
See, shrimp.
I cannot
Shrimp.
wait.
I see, there are 1.5 million items in there.
And chicken. Oh.
Next time I travel, will you pack my luggage? That is like wild.
Right.
Like
Well,
efficiency.
We do the Hollywood Bowl. And the Hollywood Bowl, we do an Americana. Sometimes like the ribs with beautifully tortillas that have been dipped. And they're on the side. Ribs and tortillas. Ever heard of that? You make yourself a rib taco. Okay. Yeah, you got a little coleslaw there, It's in. It's cool, okay?
It smells so good.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
Now don't let
Just
me
filled the whole studio with the smell of burrito.
I hope you like it. I really do. It's like, do I go underneath the table? And I like for it to be a little wetter because you see, and that dried up a little because of transport.
Mm-hmm.
But I like
But I could tell it's
burrito.
wet.
Don't you?
Oh, it's just the texture cutting into it, and
Yeah.
you're
Yeah.
cutting into a good
Yeah.
thing right away.
Right. Mm-hmm. Are you, if it's
Did
not
it knock the
okay,
wind out of
listen.
you?
If anybody's watching with closed captions on right now, that means he approved.
Okay, bye guys. I'm eating.
You know, if you had said anything otherwise, I was into this. I believe I can fly. I was going to fly right out of here, okay?
It's always a really good sign, too, if you're when you make food for a lot of people and you don't know necessarily how they're going to feel about it. And then they all bite into it, and then everybody gets quiet.
Yeah.
That's a good sign.
There's a reason that guy.
That's a good sign. Yeah.
It's obviously
Too busy to be speaking.
She puts chicken.
Oh. Yeah. It's
through 31 years, and trying different things and injecting kind of soul into your food. And I think it was the late Jonathan Gold who said it's just soulful as hell.
yeah.
And I hope I'm quoting him right on that. If I'm not, somebody can let me know. But were there ever things that you tried that maybe didn't work out, like flavor combinations or anything like that just didn't come together?
Yes. In starting out, people told me do not. You remember there was a community people there, African Americans, and they said they were all porkless. They said, "Do not ever cook any pork." I'm like, okay. And who's your mama? Anyway, so don't cook any pork. Okay, so I said, well, at first I was like, well, I don't have pork tacos. Why are you even saying it? But then you're going to come in and mandate it. Okay, so I know if I cook it, I can cook it on another grill. I know how to cook it. It's like when we started the vegan. Mm-hmm. The vegan had to be a whole another grill, the whole bit, and that's fine. Okay, we respect that. So I said I was going to try a taco, this pork, and I remember I was trying it with my family, and because of a mental stigma, it wasn't coming out right. Because that carnitas has to be cooked down, and then it has to be put on the grill, and it has to be crunchy. It's got to be, has that spices in it. We cook it down low and slow. Right. So they had me all, and now I've been cooking for years, and all of a sudden I'm all twigged out about, this pork taco. Ooh. Okay. So I got past that, but that could have been a little debacle right there. That was a little, and I think that when, like, for example, certain vegan tacos, we have the sweet potato, wild rice, yam, and toasted almonds and raisins. That was hard because
I mean, on paper that sounds like that should be awesome.
Yeah.
That sounds phenomenal.
It is. Then you put some salsa verde on it. But the problem is that those potatoes have to be just right. That wild rice is hard. People don't understand wild rice. People don't understand certain flavors. So you have to be very careful when you introduce things. So what you have to do is you have to slowly do it. And it's almost like one by one. Listen, I want you to try this. If you don't like it, cool. Just let me know what your thought is. Okay. And that's what I had to do with it. And there are veganites that just love it.
I want the real tacos.
Several neighborhoods of Los Angeles here just popped up.
Yeah, so those kinds of things I've had some issues with. And then also let's talk about the cheesecake when you get different ovens.
I'm gonna try the chicken taco. Do I put some salsa verde or have this salsa?
Salsa verde.
Or you could sassy it.
Wait, I want the.
I think I'm going sassy.
Could the queen put it for me?
I would be glad to.
It's the big moment.
I'll hold it, and then you could just put some.
Sure,
green sauce on
let me ensure it.
With love.
Whoa.
Ooh.
That's it. You want a lot. I'm sorry. I don't mean to mess up everything.
Oh, no, please. No, that just made me even hungrier.
Okay. Where's your boxes?
Oh, it's right here.
Okay,
once I get started, I don't know how much talking I'll be able to do.
I know, that's fair.
So let me ask you this. What is your thought on that cabbage toss? I removed lettuce overall.
I like it.
Just checking. Thank you.
Like you were going to say no.
The smell. I wish people that were watching this or listening could smell this smell. It really. Oh, man.
When you're working there, every taco aficionado knows out there that you're going to smell like a taco when you go home. Yeah. When you stop by the dentist's office, he's going to say, don't say anything. Just do what you have to do, dentist. I'm a taco aficionado. Okay? Because there's just tacos, okay? It's good.
Can I wind back and ask a question? Because you mentioned in one of the first questions we asked you that you had always been interested by food, and you asked your mother to stop and try the first taco, and we didn't like that one. But where did your interest of food start from? Was it from family? Was it from mother, grandmother? Where did the interest kind of get instilled?
Family. My mother, my grandmother. My mother was a celebrity chef for Diana Ross, I think Gene Kelly, Fred Sands, James Caan, Priscilla Presley. And so my mother had it, and I used to, at 6 years old, my mother bought me an electric stove at 6. So I was cutting off, the plants. Let's cut these plants off. And so she said, you don't do that. So they were teaching me. I've always had something for the kitchen. And then when I started working at Kroger's, I was in high school, and I was the first African-American cashier at Kroger's. Okay? That was 1907, wasn't it? Ooh, it's a long time, huh? It's like, whoa. Anyways, so when I'm saying that, I had privy to another cuts of meat because there was a butcher there. And I made union wages and everything. What are you talking about? I was doing it. Anyways, so that was another echelon in terms of intro, because I was from a middle-class family, beautiful family, but I didn't have intro to those cuts of meat until I started working at Kroger's. Then I started buying them. Then I started experimenting. Then they, if I'm buying it, you can be the cook. Okay, and then they were teaching me what they knew. And then the infusion of spices as the years have gone on, because at first African Americans, in coming from the South, used basically just salt and pepper. But they weren't using garlic. We weren't using cumin. That became part of our intro through the years, okay, of different cultures coming in and saying, oh, that was Italian. Let me taste this oregano. So I had privy to that because I was in the grocery store, because I wanted to know what everything was. So that's how I basically got started. And then, of course, in traveling, I've gone and taken classes and whatever, and like, well, let me teach you something. Anyway, is that hubris or what? Okay, it's horrible. But so it was my family, it was my curiosity, it was my training, it was my exposure, and it was my love. Being a gourmand, I love food. I'm a wonderful gourmand.
I read a story about when you were a kid and you were cooking. I believe it was with your mother, and she was making spaghetti sauce, and you had recommended or suggested putting cream or milk into the sauce.
Yes.
And she said, absolutely not. That's a crazy idea.
It's a crazy idea.
But then you waited all your life to be able to make that decision on your own. When you're cooking, you get to add the cream. I just thought that was a funny story, and it seems to have played out into sort of who you became with being so creative and.
And then I think as a kid, and coming up on Friday nights, we used to have fish. I was raised Catholic, 12 years in a private Catholic school. So I'm a good Catholic girl.
That's right.
So anyway, so we had Friday night. We had fish and spaghetti. So my grandmother would never ever put dairy with fish. I'm like, I thought she was Jewish or kosher or something, okay? And I said, after so many years, a teenager, I said, why is it that you never mix dairy and fish? I mean, because there's going to be a wonderful fish over a yogurt, over a wonderful halibut or something, or red snapper. It's hot. It can be done beautifully. It just didn't happen within our culture. So I brought that to our culture. My grandmother was like, oh, this is different, honey. But she liked it, though.
So how many kids do you have?
I have 2 children. One is deceased, and the other one, Victor Burrell, is still, he's God bless him, he's still with us, still with Skies.
Is he cooking like you?
And yes, he does. As a matter of fact, one of the top sellers on Goldbelly is the Zola May's peach cobbler. And
I've had that. It's top for a reason. It's really good.
And that peach cobbler, he makes it.
Oh.
That's what he does. He makes a beach, and it's one of the top sellers. And it's Zola May's. Now, Zola May was not even, that was supposed to have been his great-grandmother. Nobody liked her, right?
Mm-hmm.
But he liked her. And my grandmother, she passed away early. My grandfather remarries. He remarries Zola May. Okay. So then Zola May teaches him, they go south, and she teaches him how to do this peach cobbler. And all of a sudden, he brings it to surface about 6-7 years ago. And everybody's loving this peach cobbler. I'm like, because we didn't eat that much peach cobbler in our home. We had pound cakes, real safe. Okay. Nothing exotic, but real simple, good food. So that's what's kind of interesting is that how expansion and what happens in families and stuff. Because I never would have thought about using Zola May's inspired peach cobbler.
You said he brought it up 6 years ago. How long was he sitting on that for?
You do the math.
Sorry, I didn't mean to get you in trouble. Sorry.
You do the math, okay.
So when is your new location opening?
Well, let's see. There's one downtown that'll be opening hopefully in July. That's at the Fashion Mart.
Oh, okay.
110 East 9th Street. And it's going to be streamlined in terms of won't have as many tacos or burritos, but it'll be streamlined. We'll have beer and wine. Okay, it'll be like it's a small food court with different specialty concessions, and I'd like to think we're special. Okay, and again, that's going to be probably June or July. They keep holding up. SoFi. Gosh, as soon as they turn the key over to me, I can start building that place out, okay?
I was going to say, you opened the original one in about a month. That timeline doesn't exist anymore for restaurants.
Right. Because but SoFi is going to take a while. It's going to take but with all of our plans, everything's in.
Yeah.
We're all cool, design, everything is in. We're just ready to get the key. They're not ready.
They're not ready for the soul.
They're not ready for the soul, okay? And then, of course, I just closed the marina, so the marina could get revamped a little bit.
Okay.
We have a specialty store over there, deli, and liquor store, and convenience store. So, we're busy. And I've always wanted to go global. So when you guys talk about what you want in life,
yeah,
always remember that sometimes it's not always what you think. Global, I always thought I'd see, the individual taco places. Well, global now is Gold Belly. It's gonna go international too, or whatever. But global, listen, when I see the orders coming in for Skies, and there's somewhere Vermont, somewhere Mississippi, I'm like, ooh, so scared of everybody. I mean, it really turns me on. And I think, what a privilege to be able to, to send taco kits here or to send cheesecakes. So sometimes when you ask for stuff, it doesn't come like you think. It comes better.
What do you enjoy doing on your off time?
Do you have off time?
Yeah. That's it. First of all, do you have any free time? And
my romance is tacos, and I have to tell you, I did not and have not remarried for years because I really, first of all, I've been married a couple times, but my dedication is different in life, and not because of age. But it's just different. And that's my time is different. I like to do what I like to do. I like to read. I like to hang out. I like to, have fun. My passenger seat in my car is always empty. I don't ride with a bunch of women. I got good friends. But what do? I have fun. And people say to me, and I travel a lot. I used to go to New York like every month.
I love New York.
Don't you love New York?
It's like a life city.
Yeah, I go to the Plaza Hotel, like I was real rich.
Yeah. I know, I'm bougie too.
They say, oh, here she come. Yeah, so anyway, I haven't traveled because of, COVID. Gold Belly went to New York in last year. Gold Belly wanted to do a video, me and my son, right? So we went, me, Victor, and that's my son, and Darren, So here we're in New York, right? And guess what? I'm sick.
Oh no.
And guess what? So I get up at 12. I get up at the hotel at 12 midnight because I got to shower because I know I'm sick.
Yeah.
I don't know what I got, but I know I'm sick. So I get in the lobby and the car's going to pick us up at 9 or something like that. And I pass out. I mean, like, whoo. I did it real cute. Okay, so check this
Everything
out.
in grace.
So Darren says to me, he says something to me because he knows how to get me going. I popped up, I said, let's go. And did that 2 or 3 hour video, and it was fine. And got back in my bed and left the next morning. I said, fine. Because I was so afraid. Here I am at Goldbelly, and they've sent for me and everything, and and I'm sick. And I said, no, I'm not sick. I'm driven. And it's like being here. It's like I wouldn't have missed this for anything. What a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful meeting, and meeting all of you.
Thank you guys for coming all the way from LA.
Seriously, it has been such a pleasure to meet you.
Thank you.
Just you have such a wonderful energy about you. I wish I had more of that in my life. You just bring such a joy. I feel like everywhere you go, you probably bring people joy.
Oh, I wonder, but I hope so. I hope I can be joyful.
You could see it through your website. When I was looking at your website, I was like, she's going to be so much fun.
Everybody is so serious. There's so much serious. Oh, everybody's so serious. So check this out. You know how to not be serious? Take about an hour at night. Look at some of these videos. I don't know if it's Instagram. I don't know who it is. TikTok. I don't know who it is. Listen, you can just be on the floor. Because some people are just crazy. And that craziness can make you laugh.
Yeah.
That's what I love.
Go to bed, sleep. Go to sleep laughing.
Go to sleep laughing. Go to sleep joyful, okay? Joyful. So what you having?
So you were talking about people being too serious. I much prefer to be a little too sassy than too serious. I'm going to try out some of the sassy sauce that I've been really excited to try.
Okay.
So, and I'm going to put a lot, like you said.
Yeah, you gotta have it saucy. Mm-hmm. Here, darling.
Either these mics are really good or you are loving that taco. There's some. This just went from a podcast to like ASMR to like.
It's sweet and spicy.
Oh my gosh.
Is it okay?
That is really something.
Gotcha.
That is so delicious.
Call it gripping.
As soon as I finish this taco, I think I can carry on with the
That's
conversation.
okay. Just take your time. Take your time.
Any fun celebrities that have come to eat at your restaurant?
There are celebrities that come and, I don't know them. And the reason I don't know them is because I guess I look and want to give everybody their private space, like Brad Pitt. I want to give everybody...
Brad Pitt? That's it?
I heard Denzel earlier. Everybody knows Denzel.
I can tell you a story.
Tell us. We love stories.
I can tell you a story, but I just don't want... what's her name? J-Lo to come after me.
Was it Ben Affleck? Because I just went to her premiere the other day and I was kind of like talking to her. So
You know what? I'm scared of her too, so that's okay. Ben, you stay strong out there, buddy.
she's actually a good person.
Well, it's not that she isn't.
I'm not doubting she's a good person. I'm just saying I wouldn't fight
when
with her.
I met Ben, they weren't together. Okay. So I blew him off. And,
You blew him off on a date?
we were at Top. What was that Top? What's that called? On Melrose. Craig's.
Oh, everybody's at Craig's every time, every night.
I don't do Craig's. I just didn't know. I was happy to be Craig's. And so, anyway, so he comes up. He says, "Let me get you a drink." And I said, "Not today." And they said, somebody came and said, "Do you know who that was?" I'm like, "No." You know who that was? I go, "Oh no." I said, "Now what?" So I went on and got in my car and just split on. But anyways, yeah. So we have, and then of course the wonderful Angela Bassett and family. They come, and Usher, and a lot of other people. Oh, Jennifer, what's her name?
Jennifer Hudson? Or
No.
Jennifer.
No, white blonde girl. What's her name?
Jennifer Lawrence?
Yeah, she came and just adorable. Okay, right before I believe what was it? Joy came out. What was that? One Christmas movie she had. she was in and we had a conversation. And I didn't know who she was. And I says, well, listen, you sound like you're pretty important. I think you need to give me your autograph. And so she did. She gave me her autograph. And so I didn't realize what it said until I said, oh, that's a wonderful person. Okay. Cheryl Lee Ralph, she and her son come in. A lot of people I just don't know.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Yeah. So anyway, so I told the secret on radio. God, Jesus. I hope I'm not, what's that word? Kicked out of the clan.
We're telling the story on.
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. It's a true story.
I already was so humbled to be here today when I knew that you were coming, and I've been such a fan, and all your work has been amazing. But now that I know that you just looked at Ben Affleck and just went, like, smitten. I'm smitten. I don't know if you could take me back with you when this podcast is over, but.
No, it wasn't it. I'm like, and? They said, no, you didn't.
I don't care how good Armageddon was. Move on.
What's coming up? Okay, beside our openings and what have you, just stay tuned for our daily opening, of course, at the mothership Pico Boulevard. We're there to serve you, to enhance an experience that perhaps you haven't had with just regular food.
I don't know about regular food. I mean, this is definitely a few notches above regular food.
Thank you. Thank you.
That was
So you
delicious.
guys need to make a drive down to LA, or if you're in LA, you need to go. If you're anywhere, you need to just come.
Drive up, drive in. If you're on the water, drive in.
Fly
who
in,
cares?
swim over, kayak, whatever you have to do.
Unless
Rent
you've
a
been
scooter. It's,
And
never been Affleck.
your soul's gonna leave happy.
Thank you. Oh, thank you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did have one question
Yes.
for you. So your nickname is Sky.
Yes.
I know that was your mother's. Your mother had a favorite restaurant. It was like
Yes.
a 40s era restaurant called
Yes,
Sky.
in Atlanta, Georgia, called Sky. And so she said, I says, Mom, what do I name this restaurant? And she said, name it Sky. Skies. And I said, okay, so everybody would come and they just look at me and say, hey, Sky. That's how they know me. So I got a name change, you know.
Okay.
Oh, isn't that so Hollywood, though?
Yeah, that's Hollywood.
Stage name. Yeah.
So Hollywood, isn't it? So listen, so way back then they were calling me Sky. Remember, nobody was named Sky then.
Yeah.
They're thinking, you know, I'm like 3 years old or something. Wrong. Anyway.
You're 3 years old in your soul.
Yeah, right. Oh, life is sweet.
Well, by no means does it look like you're slowing down at all. So outside of the new places opening up and the dailies opening up and things like that, what does the future kind of hold for you? What does the future hold for not just the tacos, but yourself as not just a restaurateur, but I would say an icon of the Los Angeles hospitality industry?
Do you know, my dream is to become a philanthropist for restaurants that have some traction. You see, there are restaurants that have traction, that have very little traction, can't go to the bank, have gone to the bank. No. And I just want to be in that position to, you know, to not just be there for like one time, but to help lift it up, because it takes more than one time. I mean, wonderful, you know, you get the kick of $10,000, whatever. But let's talk about long term, because things happen in a restaurant. And the restaurants are the core. Restaurants, this is core business. Okay? You call them a mama and pop, whatever you want to call them. But they're core. People are feeding families. They're feeding their families. This is some serious business. So that's, in my heart, that's what I look forward to doing. But that I know I will do before I leave here.
No offense, Toni. I kind of wish I could hang out with her more than I hang out with you. If there's a nice way to say that,
I'm not offended.
But these guys are so cool. They got the shades on. One of them took them off for a minute so he could see. But it's a real cool environment. All taco aficionados need to know that.
And you were one of the Monet told me you were one of the first ones on TacoTuesday.com. One of the first restaurants on the site.
Yeah, I guess I was, huh? See, that's what I'm saying. Social media.
Yeah.
Social media. You know, what do I know? but I know.
You have a great team running it.
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Real proud of them. Great catering. My daughter-in-law's heads catering. Her name is Marie Burrell. And I mean, she's a one-liner. She just says one line to you, and that's it. You don't have to, it's no whole lot of hoopla, but does a beautiful job and pleases the customer. And that's what's important. So when I go and do a little follow-up, it's like I'm always pleased. I'm just very, very fortunate right now, okay? this is a great time. This is a great time, with or without a Bentley.
I'm more experiencing the without a Bentley side of things.
I have to add that because we're in Hollywood, okay? And Hollywood's like, Hollywood, they do other things in Hollywood, like Bentleys and stuff.
They're leases. It's fine.
Yeah, right.
No, definitely your star on the Hollywood, whatever the street is, the Hollywood Walk of Fame, I believe it is. Yeah, it'll say Sky, and there might be a picture of a Bentley on there.
Might be a picture, but listen, it doesn't have only if there is a picture of a taco.
Mm-hmm.
It has to be a taco. Now, why am I to go out Bentley? Listen, I would like to have handbags made. Like Judith Lieber, she has a handbag, a taco handbag. It's about $4,000 or $5,000.
Oh, I see the bouginess in you.
I could beat that though. I could beat that. Beat that with a stick. Okay. Let me tell you something. I mean, because these are fun things to have. It's not just memorabilia, but it's part of our American, Hispanic culture. We're all brought together. When I started with tacos, not very many Latinos came in disguise. After a while, they got used to me. Said, "Oh yeah, it's okay. You can go in there." So black and brown would get together. Okay, it's good. It's good. I mean, anything that brings about something that's positive, and that's long lasting, and that can go throughout generations, it's good. So that's kind of my experience.
Good food is that thing that we all as humans have in common.
Yes.
We are all going to eat, and we all like that food to be delicious.
Yes.
Well, I think it was Marco Pierre White said, "We never grow old around the table." Never. I always love that, and the way the food can bring people together.
Never. And on Thanksgiving, I have like 25, 30 people over,
It's going to be 40 now. You have to add us to it.
I do have. I mean, I love company. I love company, and I love hosting, and I love preparing. And when I do it, it's like, it's so fulfilling. You can be so tired, like a zombie. But it's okay. Everybody's enjoying the food.
But your soul is happy.
Yeah, your soul is so happy. Yeah, you got it.
Well, thank you for coming on.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's been a pure delight, gentlemen.
Absolutely, same to you. I knew you were going to be a wonderful, beautiful person just reading about you, but then meeting you, I mean,
that's nice. Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm
really
honored.
has.
How humbling and how fun, and what an absolute treat. I can't imagine a better way to spend a day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
And everything is delicious.
Oh, you guys are making me, all welled up inside.
No. That's the sassy sauce. That's just the sassy sauce talking. That's all right.
Good. Thank you again.
What's your sign?
I'm Pisces, but I'm a February Pisces. Anybody in here March Pisces?
My
Scorpio.
father is a March Pisces.
March what, 5th?
March 8th.
8th, okay. Yeah. March 5th. Pisces in February are a little different than Pisces in March. Pisces, a little bit.
I'll have to tell him I think I like the February ones a little bit better.
Well, it's because that's your dad. But that's not true, okay?
Okay, well, is there anything else you wanted to add? I mean, anything else you want to talk?
Come and see us in Skies. We'll be glad to have you. Look forward to meeting you. Look forward to you being part of our community, even if you live 100 miles away. Whenever you come in, we want to know you.
All right, you guys. I think that's a wrap for today's show. We have the wonderful Barbara Sky Burrell joining us today. Thank you so much. I think it's time for us to start digging into these boxes of food because I am officially starving.
I'm almost done.
All right, you guys. Happy Taco Tuesday. Cheers. And we'll see you next time. Thank you.
They just gave the knock, spicy vibes in here. It's a party now. TacoTuesday.com.